Never thought I'd have a YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. They're asking you for the Venn diagram, but even if they don't, I would strongly suggest you do, right? So this is reality contest. Box around it. I'm given the 13 that go in here, and I'm given the 9 that go in there. All right, no idea what this is. 4 people like neither type, so those are my outliers. Okay. Then at the top here, you'd have your universal, which you know is 32. Right. So now we need to figure out how do you fill in the rest. Okay. So it's asking how many people like both types of shows. Okay. So they're basically asking for this centerpiece. How would I go about that? Well, I will call that my unknown, right? And I'm going to try to use pi here, right? So the union between both of them is nr plus nc minus x, right? I have to subtract the overlap. Do I know the union here? I know that this is 32 minus 4. I think I'm talking to myself here, right? I'm taking universal, subtract the outliers. NR is unknown, NC is unknown, so is that one. So I'm a little bit stuck here. But we know if you want to use pi, did anybody actually successfully use pi in this case? There are too many unknowns here. Like I don't know this, I don't know this, and I don't know that. So I'm in a conundrum here. So this is what I'm going to do instead. What do these 3 sections, what do they add up to? 28, right? Like I know that if I take my universal and I subtract that from it, I'm left with 28. So this middle piece here, therefore, must be, so I'm not using pi in this case. And I wanted to encounter this to kind of get stuck. It's like, oh, I can't use pi. I have to do it a different way here. Okay? So then on the side, I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to take my 28, which is all of these, right? I'm going to subtract the 13 from it, and I'm going to subtract the 9 from it, and that will give me that centerpiece. Okay? So that's 28 minus 22, so x is equal to 6. Okay? So 6 people like both. Okay? So how are we going to mark this thing? Okay? If you, they could have asked more, because now that we know that this is 6, we know that these combined, that would be 19, correct? We know that these two combined would be 15. And now you know more, right? Now you know how many people like reality shows, it would be 19. How many people like contest shows, that would be 15, right? And so forth. That's how you do it. So if you got the 6 here, I would actually give you 2 marks for that. If you were able to somehow get the 6 in the center. And you should be able to double check that if you add up all these sections, including your outliers, you're back to 32. Okay, so this is 19 plus 9 is 28 plus 4 is 32, so that checks out. If you drew your Venn diagram and it looks pretty good, meaning it has the 13 and the 9 where it belongs. If you have the 13 and the 9 where it belongs, you get 1 mark. Okay? If you have the universal and the outliers where they belong, you get another mark. So technically you get 2 marks for the Venn diagram. Don't worry about like if the 6 and the 19 and the 15 isn't in there, that's fine, because I didn't particularly ask you for that. I was asking for the 6. So 2 marks for the Venn diagram, 2 marks for figuring out the 6 in the center. Okay. So this was a bit of a botched attempt of using pi. In this case, pi didn't really help you because there were too many unknowns. Okay?
You do still gotta get the right answer. You just don't divide by 1.
You used pi,
Yeah.
but you must have somehow gotten the 19 and the 15, right?
I did my math wrong. I did 28 minus 15 minus 1, which is 6.
Okay, so you basically did this here.
Yeah.
But that's not really using pi.
I know. I just format it.
And that's okay. If I haven't given you the green light to use anything, except for if I say use the principle of inclusion and exclusion, specifically, I want you to use it. Okay? Yeah.
I took the universal, I subtracted the R and the C and the outliers, and I got 6.
So you just went and subtracted this and the outlier to get the 6. Yeah. You didn't do a Venn diagram to start off?
No, I did.
Because it'd be tough not to do a Venn diagram and get it right. I mean, it could. But what am I trying to say here? Always know where things go. If you know where things go on the Venn diagram, then you can answer correctly. If you don't know where they go, then you're in trouble. Okay? So if you got the 6, you get 2 marks. That's what I'll say. Okay, so 4 marks for question 1. Got it? Now let's do, 2 for the Venn diagram, 2 for the getting the 6. Because it did say using a Venn diagram, right? So 4 for question 1. Now, let's do the next one here. Total of 48 students were asked how they got to school. So that's my universal right there. 31 students drive a car, 16 a bus. So it doesn't say only, right? It just says car, bus. 12 students do not drive a car or take a bus. So these are your outliers. How do you write outliers again, right? Car or bus, not, right? Cub. Draw the corresponding Venn diagram. So I actually specifically asked for it. So question 2A, car, bus. We're assuming there's going to be some overlap. So this is 48 out here. You've got 12 there. If you have those two, 1 mark. 48 up top, 12 and as an outlier, you got 1 mark. And then your C and B here, these numbers right now would be 31 out here and 16 out there, correct? All right, so I'll give you 1 mark for those 2 numbers being there, just for simplicity reasons. So half and half, right? So 1 mark for that. And then, so now we're going to draw the Venn diagram. So far it's only worth 2 marks, and now we're going to fill in the rest, okay? So this is the key, remember, the center is your key. So I'm going to call that my unknown. I have these 2 sets separately. I can use pi, correct? Pi. 48 minus 12 is equal to 31 plus 16 minus x. Now we're talking, okay? So that's 36 is equal to, that'd be 37, 47 minus x. Bring this over, you've got 36 minus 47 is equal to negative x. And you have negative 9. Negative 9, nope, sorry. 11, sorry. Know your math, okay? Know your math. Divide both by 11, sorry. No, by 1. Know your math, right? And x is equal to 11. If you have this, I would say you get 2 marks. Because it's more than just randomly plugging in numbers. You understand what's going on. You're okay to not write out the formula. You don't have to do that every time, okay? I just did it in the notes so you understand what we're doing. So pi worked. This is basically the principle of inclusion and exclusion. So this is answering. I'm going to now fill in my Venn diagram. 11 is there. So this is 31 minus 11, that's 20. And 16 minus 11, that is 5. Okay. So that's the key that unlocks everything else. So I'm going to answer B here. I'm thinking how I'm going to mark this. If you have the 20, the 11, and the 5, you get another mark for that. So the Venn diagram in total has 3 marks, because I did ask you to draw the Venn diagram, in which case I want you to fill it in. Okay, so the Venn diagram is worth 3 marks. B, how many students do not take a bus? Do not take a bus to school. What is it asking for there? N, not bus, correct? All right. Universal minus bus. Okay, and that's 32. 32 students do not take a bus. So that's a 1 marker there. 1 mark for B. How many students take a bus and a car? That is 11, right? This would be, let's write it out properly. You don't have to, I just want to keep reminding you. If I asked you to use proper notation, then you would do it that way. And for D, below the student's answer, explain the 2 main errors that were made. What are the 2 main errors made here? Sorry? They used the wrong diagram. How is this wrong? It's a subset. Not all students riding a bus also ride a car, right? That'd be one misconception there. Another mistake. Forgot to label the union. This would be technically, this would be technically like if you united them, you would just end up with all of this, right? Or are you talking the intersection? Oh, the universal set. Okay, yeah, this is missing. Yes, that is one mistake. The universal is missing. And that B is a subset, right? So universal. B is not a subset. So you had some option here, and does not add up. Sections do not add up to 48, right? Is that our universal? Yeah, 48. So any one of those two you get, I will give you half a mark for each of those, okay? So 1 mark for that. This would be, okay, this section for C here, I will give you 2 marks because it involved doing all of this work here. So those are the 2 marks that I was talking about, okay? So let's make this clear now. 3 marks for the Venn diagram, meaning you have to have it all filled in. You have to have universal outliers. You have to have B and C, and you have to have the 3 sections filled in. That's how you get your 3 marks. Then how many students do not take a bus? That's just a 1 marker. How many students take a bus and a car? That is worth 2 marks because you had to use the pi principle. And then 1 mark for the main errors identified in this diagram here. You cannot assume that all people riding the bus also ride the car. You can't assume that, right? In fact, you should always assume that there will be some overlap, but not complete overlap. Okay. So question 2 is out of 6, 7. So question 2 is out of 7. And question 1, I said 4, right? 2 for the Venn diagram and 2 for figuring out that number 6 in the middle. So that's out of 4. So 4 and 7 were out of 11. Okay. All right. So put your name on both papers and try to keep them together. And maybe write down the date on top. I will. That way you can go back to Google Classroom, and I'm going to post that video, and I will return this to you as